This is probably one of the most honest and hardest videos that I've ever had to make. So let's talk about it. Welcome back to Wes and D Land and Sea. I'm D, obviously. So the reason I wanted to make this video is because we've had a lot of questions and it's high time we answer them. Each year we call a season on our channel. Reason being is because we play disc golf. Primarily that's what our channel is about. As we finished season 1, we were still publishing videos every week. Every Friday, so occasionally we would miss a Friday. And sometimes even on Tuesdays. That has been the goal for our channel since day one. Those of you who have been around for a while have noticed that at the end of season 1, I had just returned back from North Carolina, and Wes was leaving for the holiday season, and he was going to North Carolina to play disc golf and to do some stuff out there. We didn't even spend Christmas or New Year's together. We had done a hard push at the end of season 1 to film a ton of content to bring us into season 2. And we had big plans for season 2. And we hinted at a lot of those plans at the end of season 1. The new year began. Wes was still in North Carolina. So you had, I think we published a total of, let me look at my notes. We did 59 and 60 was North Carolina. 61 and 62 were the bloopers and the bonus features for season 1. It was all the bonus content, the missing footage. I knew he was going to come back with a ton of footage that was going to carry over. So while he was doing Quartzsite and Vegas and all of that, I was going to be busting my hump to get the last of the footage out for season 1 and end with the bloopers and the bonus. At the end of season 1, beginning of season 2, which was this year, I had my work cut out for me. I am the only one that does the video edits. He does the majority of the filming. I sometimes do the B-roll, and then I do all of the edits, the voiceovers, the research. All of that is on me. Not that he doesn't want to help sometimes. He's just a really busy guy. At the start of season 2, we find ourselves with Wes returning from North Carolina and doing a build out on the pickle rig. That build out video is gone forever. In the first year, we had to deal with a lot of footage corruption issues. And I think we had a card crack and some other stuff. Long story short, the beginning of season 2 found us getting better cards, higher quality cards, and actually filming really good content with them. Unfortunately, you haven't seen a lot of that yet. So the start of season 2 brought us January. And we didn't film a whole lot of extra stuff for January because we knew we were going to have to be hard pushing the last of season 1 out. So that's what we used January for. So in January, we had Wes go to Quartzsite. Unfortunately, he came back with about 10% of the footage he filmed. He had done a couple of interviews. He had filmed around inside the Quartz Fest tent. He had done all the stuff for like a week, and he came back with very little footage from that whole trip. And so I was already behind. We like to only have a 3-week turnaround. So we like to film our videos and then work on those videos and then put them out roughly 3 weeks to a month. That's for a lot of different reasons. One, I like to make sure that the videos I'm putting out, I'm doing the best that I can do on my edits. And number 2, it's also for safety reasons. I want to be clear of an area before those videos come out. So by the end of January, we hard pushing this footage out that's already very late. And then we find that we're losing, that we've lost the build out footage and most of the Quartzsite footage. That broke our hearts. And we had scheduled ourselves an entire year. Wait till you guys see. We are still putting some of that out, and that's what this video is for. I'm here to explain to you what happened. Right now, it is December 12th. I am just now working on the video footage from an RV and boat show that was done at Cal Expo last March. It's December now and March. That's a huge gap. So what happened to season 2? Probably one of the hardest years that my family has had. So I'm going to explain to you what happened to season 2 and tell you what's coming for season 3. In February of this year, we did some disc golfing in Shady Oaks. We did Riverbend Park up in Oroville, 2 places that we love to disc golf when we're in that area. But we had also decided going into season 2 that we were going to film a lot more festivals if we could. So we had plans to go to a garlic festival. We had plans to go to a peach festival. There was this wine and chocolate event that I was supposed to be going to. We filmed the Buckeye, and you guys have seen that video. We put that one out like a month ago, right? I think we put it out at the beginning of November. That was filmed last February. And so right now I'm still working on videos for March. So anyway, so last February we did those, and we were still behind. We weren't as incredibly behind as we are now. And so I used that time to try to focus on what kind of content could I do. That those blooper videos took us forever. We had made a huge changing decision for our channel. We had decided the amount of time and effort it takes to build those blooper 6-month in review videos, it takes up an exorbitant amount of my time. So what we decided to do was, instead of pushing myself past any comfortable limits I have and forcing me to spend every waking moment building these videos for weeks at a time, instead of doing the blooper videos as they sit by themselves, that I was going to try to take the bloopers from that specific video and put it at the end of that specific video. That way you guys could see the video as a whole, as a polished unit, and then after the credits, see the stuff that I cut out or the funny bloopers and put those at the end. That way you're not sitting around watching these endless hour-long blooper videos that I've spent a month and a half building. My time is precious. But we didn't do a lot of filming in February. We just did the 2 disc golf courses and the Buckeye Festival. That was because we were busy trying to get out the footage from January. The quartzsite footage, gone straight from quartzsite to Vegas to visit a childhood friend of ours, former pro disc golfer that he hasn't seen in a while. I haven't seen in a while. Hi, Ike. He really wanted to do that. And thankfully we did come out of that with some footage, which you guys have already seen. But after that, where's all the footage? In the beginning of March, Wes and I attended an RV and boat show in Cal Expo. One of the things we wanted to do for our channel is more of this sort of festivals, museums, attractions, that sort of thing. Because in season 1, we leaned real heavy into the disc golf, which is fine. That's what our channel is about. But we're also going to be doing a lot of extended travel. We're going to be going to different counties, different states, and becoming fully immersed in disc golf nomad life. So we're like, we'll use season 2 and we'll blend it all together. And then that way, when we hit the road in season 3, we have all this footage and you guys can understand more of kind of what we're going for. We had gone to this RV boat show at Cal Expo in Sacramento the beginning of March, I believe it was. And our hope was to tour these different boats, these different RVs. We'd heard that there was going to be camper vans, and we really wanted to show you guys all this stuff. Unfortunately, it was raining really bad that day, and you guys will see that footage here pretty soon. I'm actually working on that video right now. You guys will be getting that. And March, that's where things went down the hill, honestly. Right, there are 8 children, okay, broken down into 2 categories. We have the older crew of 4 and the younger crew of 4. The older crew of 4 are all long gone, married if they wanted to be, have kids if they wanted them. They're living their lives, grown adults. Here at home, we have the home crew, which consists of 2 adult children who are still living at home and the 2 that you guys get to see every day. The oldest child of the home crew had an internet friend that they had known for years on the East Coast. I had surprised her with tickets and a trip to go to the East Coast, which she wanted to go and visit her friend and attend GalaxyCon in Virginia. We made plans, me and the friend's mother had made some plans, and we put our oldest home kid on a plane. At the time, she had just turned 18, and sent her off to Virginia to stay with these friends and attend GalaxyCon. This is where things get out of hand, okay? I have family and friends on the East Coast. Our oldest home kid was supposed to go to this GalaxyCon, spend some time with this friend, be picked up by another friend, and spend some time with them before flying home. At the last possible minute, those plans fell through. No fault of our own. It just happened that way. And the people our child was staying with had decided she could stay longer while we tried to figure out flights. However, that's not what happened. I can't really, for legal reasons, go into it exactly. But what I can say, the situation where we thought we were sending her into was not the situation it ended up being. And it became an emergency situation. It became a very scary situation. My child was being held against their will and moved to another location. We were desperately trying to find her. We didn't know where she was. We had very little contact in order to try to figure out where she was. I can't go into what was happening when we finally were able to find her. And mind you, while this is going on, we're not filming. We're just frantically trying to find our kid, right? Who's now a woman, a grown woman on the East Coast in a very dangerous situation with people who mean to harm her. It blew our whole March right out of the water. I wasn't editing videos. I wasn't filming videos. My concern was on my family and not on YouTube. My concern was getting my kid back safely, calling whoever it was I had to find her, to pick her up, to bring her home. It wasn't a fun experience. By the time we did find her, we had very little time to evacuate her. Once we knew a location, it was very quick. We moved very fast. And for her protection, we did not fly her straight home. We flew her up to Washington to go stay with her brother. He's in the military. He's stationed up there. Him and his wife. And so I put in an emergency call to him, and I said, hey, for her safety, we need to hide her for a bit. Can I send her to you? And we sent her up there, and she stayed up there for a couple of weeks up in Washington. Once we knew she was safe, while we were waiting for kind of everything on the East Coast to happen that needed to happen. And please, no worries, okay? The people responsible for what happened out there did get arrested. I can't go into it, but that whole situation not only put a stop to all of our filming, but it also put a major rift between me and one of my best friends that still has yet to heal for reasons I can't really go into. That's not a YouTube thing. It's just that whole situation really changed the trajectory of the plans that we had for the rest of the year. I had other plans to go back to the East Coast, to stay with this friend, to film all this other footage. We had all these plans, and that halted as well because I wasn't going out there to be met with an argument. We truly felt abandoned, and asking for help, and it just not coming through. Will our relationship mend? Time will tell, I guess. All the footage I had planned with that person isn't happening, or hasn't happened this year. We haven't even spoken. So here we are, right? We're the end of March, beginning of April. We're not filming because we just went through all of this, and immediately we had to get our oldest child all the help, our oldest home child, all the help that they needed. So we're talking therapy, coping with trauma, and so we're focusing on this older kid. We did 2 days worth of filming, actual filming, in March, really. We did the RV boat show before everything got crazy. At the same time, we had these other friends of ours who were getting ready to move to another state, and they'd asked us if we could help them pack up their house. That turned into, can we pay you to pack our house and meet with the moving company and watch them take it all? Wes and I have huge hearts. Gets us in trouble a lot. They're an elderly couple. We decided we're going to help you out. Somehow that turned into pack up our whole house, clean our house, repaint the inside of our house, and get it ready for the new renters. And you're going to be spending your own money to do it. Now, obviously there's more to this story, but there was a huge push to get our friends out of their house so that the new renters can take over. This hard push made me sacrifice an entire week's worth of filming at a family Easter event in Folsom. I only got to spend a few days there because I was busy prepping and painting and getting my friend's house ready for their renters because I have experience in doing those things. So as I know my oldest home kid is safe, I am doing this mad push to help my second best friend and having a falling out with my first best friend. Okay, so in April, we did film a 3-disc challenge. We also did, I can't remember, it was the end of March or beginning of April. Jake had come out and we had done a Browns and Bows trip. He was with us for the Easter camping trip, and he spent some time out here. So we did get some filming done with that, and he also helped me. Thank you so much, so much, for helping me knock out the last of that house. And I also started fishing more, and actually filming fishing for our channel. You guys haven't seen any of that footage yet. I probably went fishing 6 or 7 times this year. And I may end up taking a lot of that footage and just combining it into a single video of all my random fishing days. I literally caught 1 fish this year, which, hey, if you didn't know, we have an Instagram. We started one in season 2. It only has a couple of posts on it, but you could see my teeny tiny fish. It was the only thing I caught besides stickfish all year. In May, we decided to take a little trip to our first 1,000 Trails resort, and we went to Lake Minden. That video is still coming. Oh, a whole trip out there. I think we did a couple, maybe 2 or 3 videos worth of footage out there. That is on the way. But at the time, I had started getting sick again. In season 1, I was horrifically sick the first half of season 1. And in and out of the hospital, nobody could figure out what was wrong with me. And then one doctor ran the right tests. I was diagnosed with Hashimoto. My thyroid number at the time was 48, not 4.8, 48. I think it was actually 48.73 when they found out how sick I was. So the second half of season 1, I'm on medication and they're trying to stabilize me. And I wasn't stabilizing. My numbers weren't stabilizing. The beginning of season 2, my thyroid no longer works at all. I advanced into what they called it end stage Hashimoto, which pretty much means that after it decided to kill my teeth off over the last 20 years and kill my thyroid, it's working on other parts of me, and I'll never go into remission. It's just part of it. It's working on my eyes now, I think, too. During this time, I'm getting very sick again, and I'm gaining more weight. And in the last 2 or 3 years, I have probably put on 30, 40 pounds. That's part of the Hashimoto. And I started gaining weight again very rapidly, and I couldn't figure out why. And I was in and out of the doctor going, my numbers aren't stable, help me out. So here we are in like May, June time frame, and I'm just still sick. But come June, I got together with my sister, and we did the bubble run in Sacramento. It's a yearly thing. Me and her get together and we do it. And in season 1, if you remember right, our card corrupted and ate our footage from that bubble run. So we were really excited to repeat it for season 2 and bring in even more experience. And she's been a huge help with filming. So she had a camera, I had a camera. We were having a blast. That footage we still plan to publish. Also, at the time, Wes and I decided that we weren't going to make our 1-year mark, our big deadline to go nomadic, if we didn't do some major upgrades to the Tootie, to our RV. We knew there were certain things we wanted, and we knew that we also wanted to leave out of here with a nice buffer in our savings account and take care of some stuff that needed done around the house because we had replaced the roof and we were doing all this stuff. In order to make these things happen, we made some delicate decisions, and we both went back to work full time. As you know, we were retired and we needed that extra bump, right? So I'm a writer and an artist, and I took on another job. And so I do those. He's working now full time, and we're combining that money to do things like we want to get an EcoFlow for the RV. It's ready for solar, but there is no solar on the RV, so we want to do that. And there was a couple other things that we wanted to do or change or upgrade because we're going to be living in it. And so we want to make sure that it's ready to go. And in order to do that, we had to go back to work full time. This also slowed down our filming. And we're still recovering, and we're helping our older home kid through her journey to heal. I lost another one of my dogs in June. So in season 1, my senior dog, my blue heeler, passed away. Her name was Ruby. She passed away in July of season 1. So June of season 2, we lost Jack. Jack had been a part of our family since, I think it was like 2004, 2005. He was a terrier chihuahua mix. He had a seizure disorder. He was like 17, 18 years old. I mean, he didn't have any teeth left. So here we are. I'm sick. I'm having to go back to work full time. My other dog passes away. And with everything going on, I put off my yearly mammogram, which I do every year in June. And I put it off because there was so much going on, and my doctor was running all these other tests, and I didn't have time. Excuses. All of it is excuses. I'm going to tell you right now. Get those mammograms done. Don't put it off. You are probably the glue that's holding everything together. Okay? Whether your family's going to say it or not, they need you more than you know. If you put off your mammogram and there's a problem, you're going to hate yourself for it. In June, I put off the mammogram. The beginning of July, Wes and I are burned out. We're desperately trying to edit videos of any kind. We're, dealing with counseling. We're dealing with losing a really good friend, dealing with our kids' trauma, my illness, the dog passing away. It's like one thing after another after another. We decide we're going to blow out of here and we're going to go to Tahoe and we're going to play disc golf. I've never played that particular course, but Wes had, and we're like, let's just go to Tahoe. 4th of July weekend, we decided to go to Tahoe to play disc golf. And we did film it for the channel. We go up there, and it's a course that is really difficult for me because it's all straight uphill. I'm still very sick. They're trying to stabilize my numbers. It was a brutal day for me, but we did. We went up there and we did it. So in July, Tahoe wasn't the only thing we did in July. We had gotten the opportunity to fly to El Paso, Texas, to go visit the friends of ours that had moved and film tons of videos out there. If you're a member of our Facebook fan page, you saw us hint that we were doing a travel day. We'd taken a picture at the airport. We ended up going to El Paso. We had a great time out there. When we came back, we had all this footage. We're talking, we went to a bunch of markets. We filmed all sorts of stuff. It was a crazy week of filming. I don't know how much of that you're actually going to see, because shortly after that trip, growing hostilities between us and those friends. And unfortunately, those growing hostilities turned into the absolute downfall of our friendship, a permanent downfall of our friendship. I'm not going to go into all of the details on why that friendship ended. All I'm going to say is we felt hurt and taken advantage of. We felt that that friendship had been toxic and had been toxic for years, and that we had to do what was right by us, not subject ourselves to that sort of treatment anymore. Out of respect, for the situation and for everybody involved. We're pretty sure 90% of the footage we filmed out there is not going to be going on YouTube. We're just going to trash it. So there we are again with footage we're not using. So that was July. So beginning of August, we're focusing on our family trauma. We're focusing on trying to get videos done. We're easing back into filming regularly again. And Wesley's phone explodes. It sounds like my life is a movie. His phone literally exploded. The battery in his cell phone exploded. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. It was sitting on top of the dresser across the room. We heard this loud bang. The room filled with smoke. Toxic smoke. Toxic smoke. Not even kidding. It was a dangerous situation. We came through it okay, but it involved having to have the walls scrubbed, air out the house for 2 days. Thankfully, no one was hurt. We managed to put the fire out. It didn't cause too much damage, thankfully. The way his battery exploded, it could have been worse had it gone the other way. So pretty much the battery popped, it set fire to some stuff, and then it off-gassed in our room, and thankfully our house did not burn down. So we're dealing with that, right? In August, and I go in for that mammogram I put off. So the beginning of August, I go in for mammogram. Now I am very, and always have been, very particular. Mammograms are extremely important, especially in my family where everyone's prone to breast cancer. I go in and I have my mammogram, and that was on a Friday. On Monday, I get a phone call that I have to go back in. They found something that wasn't there last year, and it's concerning. And they want to do another mammogram and take a look. And they want me in as soon as possible. But the earliest they can get me in is 2 weeks later. I'm sticking close to the house. We're filming some fishing videos. He's doing his ham radio videos. And I go in for the second mammogram. And immediately I am told that I need a biopsy. What they had found in the first mammogram had grown and doubled in size within 2 weeks. They were concerned. And I needed an immediate biopsy. Which was scheduled for another 2 weeks later. It was the only time they could get me in. Now, those of you who are friends and family who are on my personal Facebook page, you witnessed this whole event, and I appreciate it, and I want to thank you so much for all of your love and support through that whole thing. I was absolutely terrified. My family was terrified. I've never seen Wes that scared in my life. I was trying to hold it together for everybody. Because my doctor is using words like aggressive, it's grown in just 2 weeks. And so August, it was really just focusing on self, right? It was, I was meditating more. I was trying to help my kid. I was mental and emotional aspect of what I could be facing. And so we had a big family meeting and we discussed it with everybody. We talked about what could happen, what would happen. It was hard on us. In September, I went in for my biopsy. When they did it, they had told me before they started, we're gonna go in and don't worry, we're gonna be able to get it all and we'll test it. It'll be no problem. Immediately, it's apparent they're not gonna be able to get it all. So they get as much as they can. They look at it. He comes back and he says, we have to go in again. So he goes in again. Now, round 2, biopsy in the same spot. Mind you, I still have the needle inserted. For anyone who's never had a breast biopsy, it's not comfortable. And my mass was on this inner edge, right? So it's on the inside. So the needle was coming from this direction, and I had to be in this really weird position in order to get to it. By the time it was done, he came in and told me we still didn't get it all, but we got like 90% of it. Thankfully, I was told it was not cancer, but I was also told they don't know what it is. The closest thing that they could figure out was that it's some sort of calcification, but they don't understand why it's rapidly growing like that. They couldn't tell me a whole lot, just that it wasn't cancer. And this is in September. We're not filming in September, right? We're just trying to get through it. We're just trying to survive. And Wes and I are still trying to work full time, and we're dealing with all this stuff, and we're just trying to get through it. So I took all of my emotion and everything that I was going through, and I poured it into my art. I hadn't picked up a paintbrush or a canvas in a couple of years, and I needed to get it out. I needed to or I was going to crack. I was so emotionally drained with this entire struggle that season 2 had brought me that I just needed to paint, and I sunk all of my effort into painting. which has helped me cope. By October, we're thinking things are looking up, getting videos published from the first half of season 2. I'm putting everything I can into it, and I'm overstretched and overtaxed. Our youngest child, which you guys have seen on YouTube a ton on our channel, develops an ear infection. So I take her to her doctor, and they put her on antibiotics, and they put her on Septra, which was an antibiotic she'd never been on before. Y'all, when I say that child's allergic, I don't mean like, oh, she's allergic. We ended up in the ER. She had to have epi shots. I have kids with allergies. None of them are so allergic to something that they need an EpiPen. But this poor little girl, 2 to 3 days into this medication, she shows me this rash. I'm like, that's weird. And by the end of the day, that rash had spread to the whole lower half of her body. By the next morning, it was entirely over her whole body. I rushed her to the emergency room where she swelled up, turned beet red, and had trouble breathing while we're in the emergency room. So now I'm having to deal with this medical emergency with my kid. And it took 2 shots it's a long story, but she can never have that antibiotic ever again, or anything even remotely close to that antibiotic ever again. I'm absolutely terrified by the reaction she had. She'd never had a reaction like that to anything. She was one of the few kids in our family that had never displayed an allergy to anything. So we had to deal with that in October. October is also when we started our Instagram, and we started putting out photos and video footage on our Instagram. At this point in time, it's still building, but hey, if you're a fan of us here on YouTube, go find us with the same name on Instagram, and there you'll get to see more behind the scenes stuff we don't post on YouTube. Maybe we share that stuff on our Facebook fan page. Whatever. So we decided we were going to take this leap. We were going to start this Instagram. We had this huge falling out. So the falling out that ended the friendship with the friends that we were helping with their house happened in October and beginning of November, and everything hit the fan. So we're dealing with our child recovering from this massive allergic reaction. We decide we've had it. We're going camping. Unwind, cut loose a little bit, pack up the Tootie. We went to Sycamore. It's one of our favorite places. Throw Tootie out there. It's not long. We're there maybe 4 days, but it's just enough to film a couple of videos, cut loose a little bit, relax a little bit. We accidentally flooded our camper. We had a leak in the camper that we had taken back, I don't know how many times, to have it looked at underneath the bathroom sink. Right? So anything you stored under the bathroom sink would sometimes come out like it had been wet, but you could never see anything leaking, right? It's just, we knew there was something going on. Sometimes stuff under there was wet. Not too bad, but a little bit. The one time we accidentally left ourselves hooked to the water when we weren't in camp. So let me just say, first off, we were doomed from the start on that trip because Wes had discovered that we had lost our water regulator when we were on the Folsom trip back in May. We hadn't been camping since then. That's how busy and how weird everything has been. We leave camp for the day and totally forget to shut off the water, and we're gone for the day. And I had told Wes when we were on the road and we were driving, we were probably about 45 minutes from camp, and I asked him, I was like, did you turn off the water? And he's like, I don't know if I did or not. And he's like, I don't remember if I did or not, but we'll be okay. We get back to camp, y'all, and there's water coming out from underneath our camper in our bathroom. Like the back bathroom portion of our camper. There's literally water coming out. And if you've been following us on our Instagram, you saw all the pictures. So we finally found where the leak was coming from because the clamp wasn't tightened down all the way in the hose that connected the water up to the sink in the bathroom. That sucker popped off and flooded under the sink in the bathroom in our camper. And of course I had to go through all the stuff, and you'll see the pictures on Instagram. It was a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. And y'all, we've never had something like that happen before. So we spent the rest of our evening cleaning up the water, reattaching all the stuff, doing it ourselves. Now we knew where the leak was, and so we fixed it ourselves. We took care of everything. So our whole big last end of the year camping trip to kind of release some tension ended up with us panicking about damage to our rig. So in November, we've been worn out. We've been kicked in the dirt. We are just exhausted and trying to put serious thought into how we're going to catch up on season 2 because you guys didn't get to see a whole lot of videos. And we put out the Buckeye video the beginning of November. And I was finally starting to feel better about maybe my ability to catch up, because I'd made a decision at that point. I had decided that I was going to take all of the fishing footage that I had had and compile it into a video, that we were going to not publish about 60% of the video footage from our El Paso trip. And we weren't going to publish about 60% of the other videos we had filmed in order to catch up, so that we were only publishing the quality content that we knew you guys really wanted to see. And we barely disc golfed all of season 2 as it was because we were fighting to get everything done in time. So I put out the Buckeye video, and then we did Thanksgiving, and then we came down with COVID. We've never had COVID in this house. One of the few people, I guess, that has gone 3 years without ever having COVID. Yes, we are vaccinated, but the majority of the people in my house are autoimmune. Vaccinations don't work when you're autoimmune. I came down brutal case of COVID. So did I work on any more videos? No. I was bedridden for a week. It was bad. Half our house had the COVID, the other half never got it. Well, one of our kids never got it. He keeps to himself, and he doesn't like to be filmed. You guys have seen him a time or two on the channel. He did the Foodie Land thing in season 1 with us, which we were going to do for season 2, but didn't because of the whole breast cancer scare. It was right around the same time. November kicked us in the dirt again, and now we're in December. This is supposed to be where we're filming all of the ending videos for season 2. Big push and process to season 3. So what happens from here? How do we catch up? How do we bring you guys up to date? And what's coming for us? What's in the future? Wes and I have decided that in order to get back on track, we have to start publishing our videos from now and work in the videos from season 2. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to catch up. You guys are going to be way far behind, and we could be publishing videos from January and February come July. So what we're going to do to get ourselves back on track, we're going to publish this video, and then next week, we're going to publish a video from then. Okay, so there's going to be a little of a then and now situation in order to catch you guys up. So I'm going to be working on the videos from season 2 kind of in the background. And then when those come out, I'll let you know, hey, this is from season 2. And, you'll see the date on the video, and only put out those videos from that time period that we think you guys might enjoy. I can't publish all of it for obvious reasons, the falling out we had with our friend and everything that happened with our oldest home kid. There's just so much. This year has kicked us in the balls repeatedly. I think we're still just in shock over it. The last few years for us have been difficult, okay? And I'm not talking about because of COVID. We were in that horrific car accident on Father's Day in 2020, and from that point on, things have been crazy. We lost Mama. There's been surgeries. Wes was in a wheelchair. He finally got out of the wheelchair. I mean, it's just one thing after another, which has led part of it to us wanting to just go and play disc golf and enjoy. So I'm going to be working on current videos and getting those out to you as soon as possible, and then working on season 2 videos when I can and putting those out kind of in between. I'll probably drop those on our Tuesday drops, because we do upload on Fridays, and sometimes we throw one up on a Tuesday. That's probably where I'm going to put these season 2 videos that didn't come out, and I'll drop them on a Tuesday, and you'll see it'll say season 2 or whatever on it. And that way you guys can catch up and we can get back on track around here. Also too, what else is coming? Well, we're not sure we're going to be able to go on June 10th this year. We had talked about going nomadic to play disc golf around the world and leaving June 10th. We're not sure we're going to be able to do that. We have to get these upgrades done on the rig, and we have some other stuff that we have to take care of that we feel in our hearts we need to do before we leave. And so at this point, we're just fighting to get that stuff done to see if we can leave on time. Not only are we hoping to catch up, and we're hoping to try to leave on time, there's other stuff that we have to do and other videos we plan to film while we're in this area of NorCal. So one of the things we wanted to talk about, what changes are coming to our channel. Obviously, we put the bloopers at the end of every video, so we're not doing an end of year review anymore. That was only for season 1. My sister and I, who you've seen on the channel a few times, she also helped with the filming of the Buckeye Festival that we did back in Marysville. Me and her are working on a podcast together. We're in the planning stages of pulling that together. This has been a year in the making. The content is not the same as this channel. It's a separate entity, but once that is up and running, I'll let you guys know. We hope to bring you more content in season 3. We're going to be in a hard push. We're putting everything we have into this channel. And as you guys know, we're not monetized. We don't have merch. We don't have a Patreon. We're not making money with YouTube. We hope to maybe one day do something like that. We've talked about having merch because how cool would that be, right? We support fellow YouTubers as much as we can. Having merch is kind of neat, and so we've talked about that in the future. That is not the main push for our channel. Our push is to share our experiences and our travels with our friends, our family, the small fan base that we are growing. We're hoping to bring more awareness to sport. We want more people to play. We want to visit back area, off the tourist track kind of places, and open up your guys' eyes to things that you can do in your area. If you might not have the ability to, say, go to Rome for a week or two, what could you do in your own hometown for cheap? And that's one of the reasons why we travel. We love to travel. My husband spent 12 years in the military. He would have spent more if he hadn't been hit with the ERB. Travel has kind of been in our blood. It's kind of, what we're about. And so this is a way for us to even have our grandkids see our adventures. They're very young. We have a lot of grandkids, and they're very young. So we want them to be able to see our adventures, no matter where we are. We might not be able to visit with you as often as you would like, but you can see what, Grumps and Mama are up to all over the country and the world. Anyway, so we had a great doorbuster for season 1. Season 2, there were growing pains, not just with YouTube, but within our family dynamic and the struggles that we faced. We got really sucked into those struggles, and we had a hard time with it. And thank you for bearing with us. I think we only lost a couple of subscribers, and so thank you for sticking through all of that. Trust me, season 3 is going to be a banger year. Whether we leave on time or not is still to be seen. Stick with us because we're really crossing our fingers and hoping. Okay, thank you guys for all of your support. Thank you for sticking with us. Hopefully 2024 is a better year. We're hoping season 3 is a better year. We hope to show you more. We're branching out. We're doing so much. And come January, there is a big filming trip that we plan on doing, which is going to take 10 days. And we're probably going to get a couple of videos out of that. So I'm trying to clear my calendar and get this out to you guys as soon as possible. We love you. Thank you for your support, for bearing with us through these growing pains. And as I tell my children when they leave for school every day, be safe, be kind, make good choices. Do something today to make yourself proud. Thank you for joining us. There's more to come. Love and light, guys. Thank you.